Welcome to the Nonsense Nexus. Not quite a whole flicks and giggles. It's me flying solo on this one. Ree is indisposed and expect to hear more from her regarding Lilo and Stitch. But I'm a big fan of Mission Impossible. Just checked it out last night, so I want to dive into it right now and get something of a review out. So I'm not really going to be doing my usual mission to persuade her to go see a movie in theaters. I'm just doing this one for anybody watching and to talk about a movie that is part of a franchise I have a lot of love for, but I do have some things to say about this one. First and foremost, I do not like spoiling things, so I will go out of my way to not talk too specific about things to spoil it, but this one does feel, as the title implies, very final. This is a climax. This is definitely a climax. It does seem like not a good necessarily, but a way to retire Ethan Hunt. Not because it's necessarily his greatest or most amazing and impressive adventure. It's just, at the end of it, I'm like, there's nothing left for this man to do other than, like I've said jokingly a few times before, dive down from the International Space Station with no parachute and land on a humpback whale and surf that thing to Tahiti or something. Like, he's done everything. This seems like, let's make this the line. It's still very much part 2 of Dead Reckoning. Remember when they were Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Part 2 were the titles of the movies? They changed this one to The Final Reckoning. This is just Dead Reckoning Part 2. Don't let a title switch throw you. It plays directly off that movie. I think a matter of months take place between the end of Dead Reckoning and the start of Final Reckoning. It might as well be a matter of days. Well, one particular thing sets that apart from actually having happened in a matter of days, but the title change seems pointless. So let's talk about a little technical thing here. Runtime. I get this question a lot from people close to me. It's like my mother's favorite question to ask about a movie. How long is it? Is 2 hours 50 minutes? 2 hours 49 minutes. This bad boy is not short. I feel like you could cut 20-25 minutes off of it. I say that about a lot of movies. I walk out and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's definitely not a good thing. But I feel like you could easily just chop off 20-25 minutes of this movie and it would not impact anything. So very little of the not Tom Cruise, like just flirting with death for real, is really important. Like, if he's not tempting his mortal end, it's probably something you could do without in the movie. Like, that's unique to this one. There's not a lot of time. There's a reason for that, but there's not a lot of time for Luther and Benji to really show their mettle, which they've been doing in every movie already. What's my girl's name? Grace is the character. I don't know what she's really... I know what she's here for, but she doesn't really get to do anything really important in terms of a character arc. Like, she's done. All of these characters, they're done growing. I don't feel like there are arcs in this movie. One thing in particular, I'm not claiming that these scenes are bad, but they are pointless, if that distinction helps. One particular scene involves a moment or a reveal. The character is Jasper Briggs, played by... he's not Boardwalk Empire guy. What is his name? Shea Wiggum, right? His character, he has a whole little moment. He has a moment in the middle, and it's like, ooh, tension can be drawn from this, or we're supposed to. I don't care at the time that it's showing it, and then at the end, it's like, oh, he had his moment. It's like, I still don't care. You could have cut everything around his character's little moment out. Movie would have moved just fine. Would have cut a couple minutes off of it. That's part of the 20-25 minutes. I think that it serves no point. I know what you were trying to do in the movie, but it's like, nah, bro, doesn't really help too much. Another one is almost a whole character. What's my man's name? Brother name, Greg Tarzan Davis? That his name? I try to look him up, but I'm not familiar with the dude for real. His character's Degas, something like that. I don't know his name. I looked it up. I googled that just before I wrote this. That's how important his character's name isn't. Bro has no point in the movie. I think he actually does like if you're adding up what he does, like, are there some like no-name bad guy thugs that kind of get like catch a bullet or two? Sure. He might take out 2 or 3 of them. But honestly, like, anybody could have shot them dudes. Like, he's here because of where his character was kind of at the end of the last movie, I think. But he's like Briggs. What are y'all doing in this movie? Like, we don't need you here. This movie's got a lot of people in it and a lot of characters, and there's like, when you have that happen, you don't have enough time for everyone to have moments and impact. So you got to start cutting them out. Those are 2 examples that I think you could look at to be like, how can I get 20 minutes off this 2 hour and 59 minute or 49 minute movie? Speaking of characters that are taken out, what happened to my widow? Like, I honestly thought her character is pretty interesting, especially as we leave off with finding out she's like an informant, but also still running her own operation. I got super curious about that. I thought her character was interesting. I know it'd be interesting, and not less interesting rather, to keep running back to that well, but given how much we're just gonna pull from other movies and draw characters in, I felt like, all right, when's she coming back into the fold? Because, I mean, all that nonsense you pulled out for Jasper Briggs was just like, oh, there's a reveal that did not move the needle. Just being honest, it didn't move the needle. So, where was my widow at? And also, me being a fan of Ghost Protocol, look who also, I'm just going to point out, does not pop up or have anything to do with this, like, bringing the whole franchise to an end, or possible end here. Yeah, my man back there serving drinks with the turban on, he didn't make it back either. It's kind of messed up. Like, oh, why ain't in the movie? Nah, obviously he ain't make it back in. No one knows that character's name. But I guess Paula Patton couldn't like work it out to reprise a role in Mission Impossible and jump in or nothing. Like, she just got left out. It's kind of like, oh. I'm actually genuinely curious where her character is at in the universe, because she didn't die. But, you know, whatever. So, I mean, then there's this dude. And, you know, most of the time you say, oh, star of the show, right? He's the guy. This is our dude, Ethan Hunt. Except in this movie, I truthfully feel like now I don't want to say Tom Cruise does not slouch. He goes to work. He's emoting. He's doing all the things you're supposed to do as an actor and pushing this. But the stunt work is the star of this movie. Like I said, I don't feel like characters have real arcs going on here. So there's not a lot of character growth or development for anybody. This is a very, very, very long finale to the previous movie. And that's why I think a lot of people will feel like it's missing, it's lacking compared to the last one. But not in terms of stunt work, tension, this man cheating death. That's definitely the strength of the movie. You see in the trailer that they've been showing the airplane scene. You see snippets, parts of the submarine scene where he's underwater. So that's not really giving anything away that's not in the trailer. But spoiler adjacent, the only thing he doesn't do in this movie is get on a motorcycle and barehanded climb rocks you shouldn't be climbing, like climb up a cliff, like he did in Fallout and 2. And he'll find a way usually to get on a motorcycle. And there was a scene where I thought it was going to happen too. I'm sitting there watching it and XYZ happens and I'm like, now he's going to find a motorcycle and chase this guy down. No motorcycle. I thought, like, did we run out of money? What happened? So there were a couple little moments like that I'm going to talk about here in a second. But Gabriel's a weak villain. I didn't bother conjuring up a picture of him. He's weak. He was more interesting and a little more mysterious in the first movie, in part 1. This one, it's just like, nah, he's still here, whatever, shoot him. And they don't, but I mean, he's like, he should be a shoot on sight threat, but Ethan doesn't address problems that way. the sequences that I was talking about with the stunts and the action and the set pieces, and I did see this in IMAX, and something very interesting happens in IMAX. Not like super, oh my goodness, interesting, but I haven't heard anyone else talk about it. This movie generates a tremendous amount of tension and peril in some of those scenes. It's a lot, and I thought they should stop. Like it really pushed the point of being like, all right, I know this isn't gonna end here in this way, so why are you pushing the tension button for this long? Like, ease up. Like I felt that more than a few times watching this movie, and it's just too long. It's like it overstayed its welcome at certain points. But maybe that's a personal thing. I've never had that impression before. Like, whew, this dude's been in danger for about 45 straight minutes now. Maybe we could take a breather. That's truly how I feel about parts of the movie. Gabriel, like I said, diminished as a villain. And when your villain isn't strong, your movie isn't. Villains really do make movies. A good villain can carry a lame hero. We have a strong hero and a Captain America without the super soldier serum, pretty much. And then we got this goose down pillow of a villain. Like, bro is soft. He really isn't that impressive in this go around. He was ahead of the game. He was one step ahead of everyone last movie. There's a reason why he's not in this one. But without that one step ahead benefactor, it's just like, oh, look, it's Gabriel again. It's not impressive. He's not. But that doesn't necessarily make it awful. It's something I noticed. Let me try to wrap this up. I don't want to blather on forever and ever plus 3 days. I just have like 7 little points I want to make about it, and then just wrap it on up. Upon end credits rolling, my first initial got up out my seat impression of this movie is, this movie shouldn't have been called Final Reckoning. This movie should have been called Ethan was in peril the whole time. Somebody was in peril the whole time. Like, literally that. That tension element really hit me. It's like, I compare it to a decent song. Like, oh, that song's cool. You wouldn't turn the radio off for it. You wouldn't skip it on the playlist. You wouldn't skip that track, but somebody has to turn that volume down. That's one way to describe it. It's just like, it's a little too much in parts. Being clearly the end of the series, or it's originally intended to be the end of the series, we'll see how much money it makes and how much Tom Cruise wants to cheat death. There's callbacks to a lot of Mission Impossibles, just quite a few of them. Some of them clever, some of them, oh, we're literally just showing scenes from other movies and then reshot scenes from another movie. That's like, that wasn't really in the previous movie, was it? So if you're like thinking, oh, do I need to watch the other ones and really bone up on them? Nah, I don't think so. Because nothing they're showing you from 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, it's not relevant. 3 is something they tried to like loop all of them in, and what they did with 3 is like, I'm gonna be dead honest with you, I've only seen Mission Impossible 3 like 3 times in my whole life, and it's not one of my favorites, but it's the most relevant to this one, I guess. That's where we're at. Choices made with transitions. Blending some of the stunts and action sequences from one location to another scene. Like, just for example, somebody's fighting in Singapore and then somebody else is fighting in Manhattan, and like somebody throws a punch and connects, and the angle, the whole choreography of that punch lines up perfectly with this cut we're gonna move into, so that the punch hits in Singapore and then the guy feels it in a completely different fight sequence in Manhattan and they're knocked over a table. Those transitions were some interesting choices. It's hard to miss, and it really carries adrenaline, and it's like, ooh, that was cool. I noticed that they played that trick a couple times. It's a good look. It was not bad at all, and it helped extend those action sequences, are the strongest parts of the movie. It's kind of like watching the red zone for football on like 4 screens. It was just like action, 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 action. It's intense the whole time when they're in that mode. Now, one of my favorites for those odd little cool little transitions is I saw it in IMAX, and seeing movies in IMAX always spurs me to make this. I need to make it a video. I need to say some things about AMC. But when you're watching a movie filmed for IMAX, the whole movie's never filmed for IMAX. But there are scenes. This picture I have up is one of them, wherein the aspect ratio kicks in for it being an IMAX. And there's a scene here. Obviously, he's in a pressurized chamber full of water. He has to turn a valve to help move that water so he can progress along whatever it is he's doing. And that valve turn, the aspect ratio opens up. He turns it again, it opens up the rest of the way. I thought that little split second was so cute, and I was like, oh, cool, that's cool. It's like tickling the fourth wall, I guess would be a way to word it. It's fine. It's not a huge deal, but it's same as the fight transitions. You just jam from thing to thing to thing. It's pretty cool. It's not terrible. It's clearly, as a franchise, it works for its audience, because guy sitting next to me in the theater, he's literally on the edge of his seat. He is perked up, leaned in. He is engaged the whole time. I can't sit up and sit forward for 2 hours and 49 minutes. Something's gonna bore me or make me just go, ugh, and I'll lean back. He was in. I didn't have a problem. I can just tell you, this is not my top 3 Mission Impossible movies. There were a couple missed opportunities for Tom Cruise on some stunts. That's kind of spoilery. But you might think about it, like some escapes he could make, some more daring, over-the-top ways for him to overcome a problem. I feel like he did encounter a point where someone in a suit, with the bank, with the receipts saying, no, I'm not insuring you the $250,000 it would take for you to jet ski on top of 2 live sharks, or whatever. I think he hit the line here for having done too much, or maxing out what a studio would co-sign on and having the liabilities for. So that's good for a climax. Like you hit the top, you've done it all. I think Ilsa was a better not romantic interest for him compared to Grace. Mostly, I'm biased. They had more time together. I think Elsa was a better character. She filled the role of stone cold killer that the group needs. Grace, her natural skills and what she brings to the squad, they put them to use. They found a use for her, but other than that, she does a better job of comic relief. She has some cool, funny face moments she makes. But I don't understand adding the not romantic character interests in people. Like, it's not like they have a will they, won't they thing back and forth thing. Like, I'm pretty sure he had with Elsa, but I just don't like it. I didn't need it, so I felt like if I were to make a list, it'd be something I'd say you could take out. Like, I think like minutes of it you could just take out. Like, they are not riding off into the sunset together to go get a cottage in the Netherlands or nothing like that. Like, what are y'all doing? So it's part of the things that wasted screen time. But just to wrap this up, did I not like the movie? No, I liked it. Out of 8 Mission Impossibles now, right? Yeah, out of 8 Mission Impossibles, this one fits very much in the middle. It's above 2. I do like this more than I like 3. And so it's in the middle of the pack. That's not bad. It's worth seeing. Sure. Is it worth seeing it in IMAX just to see a crank valve widen up the aspect ratio? I don't know about all that. Very, very few movies are worth it in IMAX, if you ask me. I compared it to a song that was an okay song with the volume too loud. I like to compare them to food. This movie is candy. It's definitely candy because it's not high nutrition being my metaphor for lots of like symbolism, figurative language, allegory, and all the things that make film art, like literature. This is candy. This is a summer blockbuster movie. Playing off that idea that it's just too loud at parts, figuratively. It wasn't like too loud. This is Warhead's extreme sour candy. Yeah, that's what it is. It's one of those. It's okay. It's candy. Some people enjoy it, but it's just, that extreme tart, like, all right, tone it down. Tone it down in some points. What do I mean by it needs to be toned down? Runtime. Runtime. Constantly bombarding me with rising amounts of prolonged tension. You can ease that up a little bit. One of the best moments in the movie to me is what I think the movie needed more of for how long it's been for these characters. It's a scene with Simon Pegg, Tom Cruise, and Ving Rhames, and nobody's shooting, nobody's blowing nothing up, nobody's doing this zero-G nonsense I got in this picture of this plane right here. No, it's just the three dudes, just the boys talking, and they have this tiny little moment in their breakdown. It's baked with a lot of emotion because it's like they love to get back together, and then there's some drama surrounding what's happening. Then there's like the mission that they're coming to present with and that they've been ongoing. That was probably my favorite scene in the movie, just because it was like, yeah, these dudes really been through some stuff and they're cool together. I wish I had more moments like that, and not as many. Oh, hey, he was in the first movie. Oh, hey, that's from the third movie. I don't need all that. Let's do this movie and play off of the previous one, which is obviously the part 2 of it. I do think it's hard to imagine Mission Impossible the franchise without Tom Cruise at this point. Like, who's gonna do it? But I'm sure someone who watched the television show back in 1960 would say that about the cast of, like, Martin Landau. That's the dude's name. He was in it, right? I don't know. I didn't look that up. Good Lord, that's a question for from my dad, grandparents, that age people who watch that. But I do think it's worth a watch. I don't know if I can recommend this for IMAX and Dolby Atmos, but that premium format. This is cool. Worth the price of admission, yes. Best Mission Impossible movie? Nah. But that's my take. Next one up we're gonna do is our Lilo and Stitch. So thank you for checking us out, and I'll catch you after a while, crocodiles. I'm out.